Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Woodward Show. Terry Foster.
Good day.
Welcome back. Always good. I always miss you on Tuesdays. I'm not going to lie.
I'm happy to hear that. Miss you guys on Tuesday, of course.
Oh, goodness.
But it is
how was your
Wednesday.
Tuesday? You usually get a lot done on Tuesdays.
It was rough. But, I'm here. I'm happy to be here and happy to move forward.
All right. Well, let's get the show started. Maddie
Is that
walking
political
in.
enough for you?
That's about as good of an answer as I can get.
That's fine.
Right.
Terry, breaking news yesterday, the Detroit Lions signed Devin Funchess, former wide receiver, as a tight end.
Right.
And my question to you this morning, good move, bad move?
I'm going to say neither. To me, this is a footnote move. Devin Funchess was a okay wide receiver. He hasn't played tight end since college. And I think the Lions saw a local kid who wanted to come home and try to play, end his career. But it's just a footnote. I don't think this is going to impact the Lions greatly. He's a guy that may not play that much this year. So,
Devin Funchess last lined up in an NFL game in 2019. Not only 2019, Terry, week 1.
Right.
Week 1 of 2019. We're talking 3 full years since he's played in the league. I don't think it's a good or bad move. I actually agree with you. It's a whatever move. It's fine if he works out and is a good backup tight end. Great. If he doesn't,
no skin lost.
Great.
Right.
No issues. I did find it interesting, though, that they're going to take a chance on him. Who, by the way, he's young. He's only 28. And take a chance on him and put him at tight end. I find that very interesting. He played here at Michigan, was a damn good player from a college standpoint.
It shows that they're really concerned about the tight end room. A year ago, we were really concerned about the wide receiver room. So maybe this is a good sign from the standpoint that they don't feel they have to add pieces to the wide receiver room unless it's somebody big time.
So they draft a tight end who's coming off an ACL injury, right? Mm-hmm. And the biggest concern going into the year has always been who will back up TJ Hutchinson. That's a very important position. Why? Because he's typically hurt.
Right.
And some teams, and when you're a power running team like the Detroit Lions can be, you usually line up in 2 tight end sets, or like the Lions did last year, you line up an offensive lineman, line up with an extra offensive lineman. You can call him a tight end, but really not. They're there to run block, basically, is the point. Devin Funchess, you want to call him a red zone threat. You want to say he's somebody that can get you a few catches a game. I don't think that. Probably 12, 13 catches over the whole year if TJ Hutchinson is healthy. So I'm not expecting big things from Devin Funchess.
Well, and the other thing that we sometimes we neglect, tight end has to block. And I'm not sure if Devin Funchess can, in a goal line situation, will be a guy that's out there on the field. So maybe he's going to be a hybrid wide receiver / tight end. And, if he play, he may not play. I don't know.
We'll see if he makes a team. What I would say is if he's on the field, I would bet a good amount of money more often than not that they're likely not running in his direction.
And they shouldn't.
And maybe they don't have to. And maybe they can line him up. Again, this is interesting. I think a surprising move. I'm not concerned with the tight end room because let's just call it what it is. If you're relying on a backup tight end going into a year, you have a problem. That's been one of TJ Hutchinson's problem. Is he going to be available for the majority of the season? Ideally, yes. And if he is, this team will be just fine. And whether it's Devin Funchess, the rookie tight end, anybody they pick up undrafted or in free agency, no worries.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't call it a surprising move. And I described it at first as a footnote. To me, this is just getting, signing a free agent. The only thing with Funchess is he played here at Michigan. He's a local kid, but other than that, this would be like a, they have in the newspaper they have the agate page where they just list Lions sign Joe Smith. To me, this is the Lions sign Joe Smith.
All right. Well, I'd like
who
to
happens
move.
to be Devin Funchess.
I would like to move off of the Lions for a little bit. I do want to talk about the Detroit Tigers. They lost again, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
The Bats are what they are. I can't change them. If I could, I would. I promise. I don't have that power.
You know what? Players are starting to say, what do you want me to say? I am answering the same questions. I'm saying the same thing. I think with the Tigers, we had some hope that with this 10-game homestand that something might happen. Obviously, so far it's not. So, they've gone past the 40-game Sparky Anderson threshold. They're a third of the way through the season, and I think this is who they are. Now, A.J. Hinch is saying, I'm not going to accept that, which he's not. He's not supposed to accept that. He's supposed to find ways to make this team better. But this is who they are. I don't think it's going to change. But I got a question for you.
All right.
We talked about the pitching standing up. What has a better shot of happening? The bats get hot, or this pitching staff kind of implodes? Because they're doing it with no names.
I would say there's a better chance that the pitching slows down.
Yeah,
and that is by just the laws of nature of baseball. They can't bat 170 across the board all season. If they do, they will go down as the worst baseball team in baseball history. Over their last 14 games, they've scored more than 5 runs. 5 or more runs. Only 3 times. In that 14-game stretch, they've scored 1 or fewer runs in 9 of those 14 games.
But you said they scored 3 runs out of 4. They scored 5 runs 3 times
in the last 14
But you know what? That's actually better than they were doing before. That is a sad thing.
It's bad. It's really bad. It is that bad that I'm saying, oh yeah, like the pitching will probably go to shit. And you know what? The Tigers probably turn it around with the bats, because how can you be this bad? That's like...
No, you can't be this bad. But on the flip, if you are a pitcher who belongs in AAA, you can't be this good either. So, we might start to see some 72 games, and maybe we're kind of seeing it now, or 8-2 games, because I don't want to give the Tigers any more than 2 runs, because that's not what they do.
They're basically winning all these games by holding their opponents to 1 or fewer runs.
Right.
How hard that
can't
is to
hold
do.
up.
And the White Sox are about to sweep them. They've won the first 2 games of the series. You look at the Tigers, they have... How do I put this into perspective, Terry? There are individuals that fought in the Civil War and the First World War that are hitting better than the Tigers
Okay.
at this point in the season. The team that has scored the fewest runs in all of baseball is the Detroit Tigers. And it's not even like, oh, well, the Pirates and the Athletics, Adham, and I don't know, the Astros, even though they don't suck, but still. The Tigers have 168 runs in 61 games. Just to do a little math. That's 2.75 runs a game. If you told me a team was going to average 2.75 runs a game for the entire season, I will tell you they would lose likely 130 games. How this team is 13, 14 games below 500 only is beyond me. What are they? 24 and 37, 13
Well, they
games.
can't lose 130 games. I mean, that you're talking about a record of 32 and 130.
2.75 runs a game?
Brother, 32 and 130. When does that ever happen?
Never
I
happened.
mean, I could see 55, 60 wins, but man, you basically put them in the dumpster
They are
and
a dumpster.
And then grounded them up.
They are a dumpster. 168 runs in 61 games. It is the lowest by a landslide. The closest team to sucking as much as the Detroit Tigers suck is the Pittsburgh Pirates. And they have scored 206 runs. That is 38 more than the Detroit Tigers.
Well, it sounds like we're going to have to pay attention
in
to
the same
training
amount
camp.
of games.
We're going to have to pay attention to training camp a little earlier this year.
And then, of course, another problem with this lineup is they can't hit for power. So I have a public outcry. Where are all the steroid users, and why aren't they using steroids? What's going on here? 31 home runs in 61 games.
Let's supply them.
The second worst team in baseball has 45 home runs, 14 more than you have. Aaron Judge may finish the season with 63 home runs, and you probably won't even get that much.
Right.
Jesus Christ, Terry.
So, in other words, what would you rather have, Aaron Judge or the Detroit Tigers? Aaron Judge.
If I was the Yankees, I wouldn't trade Aaron Judge for the entire roster.
No, they wouldn't do that. Oh, hell no.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They're so bad.
No, say something new about them.
All right.
Say something new about the Tigers.
Yesterday, the Detroit Tigers lost and only scored 1 run.
Okay.
That's new, right?
No, it's not. Oh, you know what? Maybe that is because we've always said the Tigers lost and they scored 2 runs. So maybe there's regression.
I talked to Rogelio yesterday, and we were talking about the Tigers, and he told me, I've never been dick kicked this hard before in my life. Mm-hmm. And I told him, well, why? He's like, because this doesn't make any sense. I've watched baseball all my life. You don't suck like that with those kind of players. And I looked at him and I said, not that Candelario, Scope, Torkelson in his rookie year, Baez, not that they're all world beaters.
But we thought they were mediocre.
But you're not, I mean, at least bat 200. And poor Raj. By the way, prayers for Raj. I think he's getting appendix surgery. I called him last night. I was in my feelings. Love that kid.
Okay.
So
Did you wish him well? When you talk to him? All
yeah.
right.
Wish him well. Hope he does well. But we got to go to break. When we get back, Terry and I will discuss if Lady Luck is finally on the Detroit Lions side. Terry, I have done some research.
I want to hear this.
And it may very well be.
Does it have anything to do with fat people?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Oh my God.
It actually does.
Then I definitely want to hear this.
But they are the most fit fat people in the world. So it's a little
Sumo
different.
wrestlers?
Whatever you want to call it,
Hippos
buddy.
are technically fit fat because
Maddie,
they're
just
all muscle.
shut up and tell us about Centron.
Fit fat.
I guess I can do that. The summer of Centron is here, and it is now available at your local Kroger. So make sure you head on over, use your Kroger card. They've got a deal going on right now, too, for just $4. That's an absolute steal. Centron is a new energy drink for the active lifestyle. Drink it, live it with Centron.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Bedrock, Detroit, home of extravagant events all summer long, from Memorial Day to Labor Day weekend. Shut up, Fish. Art installations, live music, basketball courts. They've got it all. It's a good time. We're going to be heading down there this weekend. Me and Maddie going on a date.
Ooh,
Summer is better at the Monroe Street Midway. Brought to you by Bedrock Detroit. Fish, I promise you this is your last day working here.
We need him for Big Boy on Friday, but then he
We'll
can
find
be
somebody.
excused.
We will find somebody. Terry?
Yes, sir. That would be me.
Brad Holmes took over as the Detroit Lions GM almost a year and a half, a little more than that ago. And going into his first draft, the Detroit Lions had the number 7 overall pick.
Yes, sir.
Had they lost an extra game, they would have had a top 5 pick. But
Okay.
you know, we're not going to change history, but we're going to look at what could have happened, right? And when I look back at the first round of the 2021 NFL draft, sometimes you just need things to fall your way.
Okay.
And the question this morning is, Lady Luck finally on the side of the Detroit Lions? Well, let's start with the draft at least. Penei Sewell,
Yes.
you do a redraft. He goes top 5. Hell, I could argue top 4.
And I think even before the draft, he was considered that, but for whatever reason, he dropped.
Well, 3 quarterbacks going 1, 2, and 3 is a big reason why. That doesn't typically happen. Oh, wait, it's never happened before in NFL history.
Right.
So that is fortunate, not unfortunate. That's fortunate for the Lions. So 3 quarterbacks go, and then Kyle Pitts, who should be a top 5 pick, goes, and then Jamar Chase, who should be a top 5 pick, goes. Oh, that makes sense. So let's just forget we live in a world where those quarterbacks were taken. Jamar Chase goes 1. Kyle Pitts goes 2. Does Jalen Waddle go 3? I don't think so. Does J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain? No. Micah Parsons, maybe. Penei Sewell doesn't last until pick 4, maybe, if you redraft without the quarterbacks.
Right.
It was a quarterback draft, and you got a stud offensive lineman to fall to you all the way to 7, and you had to do nothing for it. And then you look at the 2022 draft. Oh, well, Adham, you know what? These players are not proven yet, Terry. Well, believe me, I know. Believe me, I know, Terry. But you know what's important? It's important to remember who you're getting and when you get them. Aidan Hutchinson, consensus number 1 pick for most teams, or at least number 1 on their boards.
Right.
All right, fine. I can live with that. Well, Trayvon Walker goes 1. That's interesting.
Well, you had Jacksonville, and Jacksonville does
They decided
interesting
to be
things.
different. And, you know, some people are, you know, they wear the special helmets. They're different.
And they were special helmets when they got Urban Meyer.
Yep, and they like to be different. And I believe they will regret it. But beyond the point, the Lions, again, fortunate Aidan Hutchinson falls to them. Because let's say he doesn't. What's the draft strategy then? Kayvon Thibodeau? Is it that simple? And nobody has an issue? Fine. Okay. I can live with that. Or is it, we can't trade out of this pick? Are you going to take Derek Stingley, who went number 3? No. Sauce Gardner, who went number 4? No. Are you going to take an offensive lineman? No. So it's either Kayvon Thibodeau or you're reaching for a wide receiver that you got at number 12, that you traded nothing for. So again, fortunate that the Jacksonville Jaguars went in one direction and the Lions got the player they wanted, and that the league consensus was this is likely one of the top 2-3 best players in the draft. And you got him at 2. I think that's fair value.
Right, but do you think we'd be crying if Thibodeau was the pick instead of Hutchinson?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I really don't. But again, are you fortunate enough to land players? The Giants, they're fortunate. They landed Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau. That's nice.
Right.
Sometimes you need to be fortunate. The Lions are fortunate to have called a rookie GM who was willing to swap picks and only acquire a 3rd-round pick to trade back 20 spots in the draft. I've never heard of that. Need to be fortunate.
You do.
Now, in life, you create your own luck, right? You work hard, you do all the right things, and luck typically favors your side. The Lions are starting to do the right things. And I think we hinted on this, Monday? We talked about them, you know, operating better than they have ever.
Or like a real NFL
or like a real
franchise.
organization
Yes.
should. Or like a real franchise should. And what I see is, all right, Lady Luck wasn't in favor on those 55-plus yard game-winning field goals. The Justin Tucker NFL field goal against the Ravens. No, it wasn't. But you know what? Looking back again, Would you rather have been 3-13-1 or 5-11-1? You were fortunate to lose those games. Why? Because if you're picking 7, what do? Jameson Williams? Are you happier with Aidan Hutchinson and Jameson Williams with the same board? Or just Jameson Williams and then figure out what you're going to do with pick 32? And you can't make that trade. Again, I'm looking at this from, are they fortunate? Are things going in their way? The fact that you get Penei Sewell at 7 in your first draft, franchise changing. Oh, do I have to add? You found a good wide receiver who could develop into a solid number 2. Maybe a number 1. I don't see number 1, but could be. Who knows? Right? It's too early for the kid. I'm seeing fortunate things happen to the Lions. For example, an unfortunate event, Todd Gurley falling and allowing the Lions to win that game in a dead season. People will laugh and say, oh, well, no, we won that game. No. That is the difference between picking 7 and 3.
Right.
You could have hauled all those picks from the Niners if you wanted. Again, I don't want to revisit what could have happened. The point is, you are fortunate sometimes to lose certain games that allow you to pick where you are. You don't lose that game against Baltimore, you don't get Aidan Hutchinson. You may not even get Kayvon Thibodeau. So I think the Lions have been very fortunate since Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have been in charge.
And you have to look at it this way. If they had won those games, would you trade Aidan Hutchinson for essentially picks 32 and 34?
No.
No, you wouldn't do that. So you wouldn't have Hutchinson, but you would still have your 32 and 34 picks. Yay.
Again, you have to be fortunate sometimes. Look, with Brady, that is the biggest anomaly in NFL history. Terrell Davis, that's another one. I mean, Jesus Christ, he was brought on as a special teamer and became one of the greatest backs ever. Mm-hmm. But like the Lions were fortunate in the Barry Sanders draft, they were fortunate not to be picking 2. Because had they been picking 2, like you always say, they would have taken the big guy.
They would have. Mr. Steroids.
Sometimes things happen for a reason. Patrick Mahomes falls to 10 for a reason. Deshaun Watson, I believe, 12 or 14 to the Texans that year for a reason. You make your own luck. The Ravens, the Ravens crushed the first round this year. What'd they do? Nothing. They did nothing. They sat back and watched the board play out, and they ended up with a player that you tried to convince me was the number 2 overall pick in the NFL draft. But you know, I'm not gonna dog on you for that. I'm just gonna get over it.
You know who may have been the biggest loser in the Barry Sanders draft?
Who's that?
Barry Sanders. Because if he stays on the board and goes to Green Bay, how many rings will he have? Would he have had?
I'd say 2.
Right. So
they win. I think they win 1 more with Barry.
He has no rings because he was drafted by the Lions. So maybe, I think the best thing for Barry coming here was Wayne Fontes let him do what he wanted to. Gave him popsicle breaks. Barry loved Wayne Fontes.
I still can't get over that story. We used to let the players eat popsicles.
Right.
Adam loves popsicles.
Oh,
how do you not?
Terry, I'm a champ. I don't think anybody can out popsicle me.
Are you a strawberry or a grape guy?
Though.
I don't taste the flavors. They just go straight down.
Come on.
I figured something was coming.
Okay.
That one was for Maddie.
Right.
That one was for Maddie. Those are not the beliefs of the individual sitting at the desk.
I will rephrase my question.
You figured he was going to go that way.
When you suck down a popsicle,
Hey,
color are your lips?
Oh.
Depends on the popsicle, Terry.
That's what I'm trying to ask you. What's your favorite flavor?
I think grape.
It doesn't have flavors.
Mine's grape.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a grape guy.
I love grape.
So
I
it
love
comes
grape
out purple.
too, but I'm probably a strawberry guy. So
Okay.
I got
Maybe
red
I'll go
lips.
get popsicles at lunch.
I was going to say, it's going to be like 105 Fahrenheit. We should all go get popsicles today after work.
We'll see, Fish.
We all need a
you've not
box of
behaved
popsicles
at all this morning.
Your
so.
after work is different than our after work.
I can stay late if you guys want.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. You're
what a
going to
team
have to earn
player.
that popsicle, Fish. Anyways, Terry, the point of all this, right, is I try to see things before they happen. I don't want to just sit back and just watch it happen. It's not what I that's not how I think. It's not what I want to do. And what I'm seeing are a series of fortunate events that have played out, that have benefited the Lions. The Matthew Stafford trade. It was time to move on. They did. They got 2 first-round picks. They packaged those picks. They swapped them and turned it into Jamison Williams. Oh, keep in mind they have another first-round pick this year. That's
right.
nice.
And if Stafford didn't say, "I'm tired of this organization," they would never trade him.
Probably wouldn't have.
They would let him retire, and that would be it. Because the Lions, it was like, we got to kiss Matthew Stafford's ass. If you notice, when was the last time the Lions had a backup quarterback? They haven't. It's garbage. There hasn't been a backup quarterback on this roster since Stafford came here that you wanted. That was planned. They didn't want Stafford to feel like he was challenged. They didn't want him to be uncomfortable, and that's not the way to run an organization.
I do have to do my daily rounds of telling people to shut the fuck up. And Scott Ward has earned my one of my very few and special shut the fuck up moments. Scott, this has nothing to do with fate, you dipshit. Fish, excuse me. Sorry, it's going to be a minute.
I was going to say how many times you're going to swear in a row.
No, I'm going to swear as many times as I need to right now to get my point across.
Just keep doing it.
Scott, don't sit there and try to be a smartass. All right? Don't be a bitch in the chat. Nobody likes bitches in the chat. So do yourself a favor. You can either leave.
I do.
You can either leave.
Oh, Terry likes bitches.
Or you can shut the hell up.
I love bitches.
I don't think anybody would disagree with you, Terry.
I like several of them.
Oh, God.
Oh,
My man. Terry, you know who's a bigger pimp than you, though?
Who?
That kid in the booth right there.
Oh, yeah, he's a pimp.
Can we get the camera on him? Look at this. This is 107 pounds of a whore just sitting there.
Oh, I'm not sitting. I'm
standing. Excuse me, buddy.
Yeah.
He's so short he looks like he's sitting.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Oh, goodness. Well, Maddie, the best defense on and off the field, please.
Yes, that is Guardian Alarm. They will keep you safe and give you peace of mind. Whether you're at home, on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what's important to you is safe. Give them a call at 1-800-STAY-OUT today. That's right, you heard Fish. 1-800-STAY-OUT right now and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house.
Hello?
Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go, and that would be Big Frog in Novi. I don't even know where Novi is. Whatever. Novi. It's just fancy Novi, I guess. But they have no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround time, so you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi or give them a call at 844-4-BIG-FROG.
All right, and we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Terry, good morning. We are joined by a very special guest, Sean from Detroit Bad Boys. He is the managing editor of the Detroit Bad Boys. Terry, it's going to be a fun conversation. Sean, how are you doing, buddy? Nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you. I do want to start, before we get into the Pistons, the draft, whatever it may be, I do want to bring up your background. Kind of walk us through what you do over with Detroit Bad Boys, what the account looks like, what people who are watching right now, what do they get from the account, what's the experience like? There's no audio?
No audio.
Sean, I don't know if your mic's muted, but I can barely, I can't hear you. So try adjusting your mic real quick, and we'll get him back on. Let me know, Alex, when he gets levels. That's weird.
Well, it's not weird. You mute yourself. Sometimes you don't know that you're muted, and now we discovered that, so we'll make that big move.
All good. All good. We'll get that fixed real quick. Terry, while we wait for that mic situation to be sorted out, I do want to shift gears a little bit. Since we're talking about the Pistons, we've talked a lot about Benedict Mathurin. We talked about Keegan Murray, Jaden Ivey, Shaedon Sharpe. Oh, my goodness. I've heard every single player associated in the draft be mentioned with the Pistons at number 5. At the end of the day, are we on the same page when I tell you they need to go out and take a chance more so than just get a piece? And what I mean by that is go try to find a superstar or bust, or not even superstar. Go find me a star or bust instead of just a guy that's going to be a good role player in 2-3 years. This is the draft, in my opinion, to do
it. When you're drafting as high as they are, yes, you don't want just a role player. Like Killian Hayes might be a mistake because you got him at 7, and he's probably going to be a role player. Probably going to be a solid player. He'll help you now and then, but that's not what you want. You want somebody, you have to think, if I'm in the NBA Finals, the Eastern Conference Finals, you need a guy that's going to be a plus player. You're going to need a guy that's a concern for the other team rather than just being out there contributing here and there. So that's what you need. You need an impact player here because you know if things go correctly, you will never draft this high again. That's the game plan. And
that's my expectation. I don't believe they'll be picking in the top 5 again moving forward. I find that difficult to believe. And let's just call it what it is. Terry, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. When's the last time the Detroit Pistons attracted a marquee star free agent?
It's never happened.
Are you sure?
Ooh.
Oh. So you have to build through the draft?
Yes. If you're the Pistons, or as you call it, the Detroit Pistons, you have to build through the draft.
You have to find your stars in the draft and not in free agency?
Young guys, and let them grow together. That's the way it works here.
So anybody that's coming to me, or you, or anybody, I don't care, do us a favor and understand that this team needs to be built through the draft. And the only way you will ever surround Cade Cunningham with another star, or dare I say superstar, is if you draft him. And this is likely the last year you have to draft, because you'll be picking at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 over the next 2 years, because you're just going to be a better basketball team.
And that's where you get your role players.
And that's where you get your role players.
But, I mean, there's a chance, there's a 1 in 100,000 chance that the Pistons could find that diamond in the rough at 14 or 15.
Oh,
but you don't count on that.
But you don't build your team around that.
No.
Milwaukee, when they took Giannis at 13, were like, all right, this guy will be good 5 years from now. And if he isn't, all right, we wasted the number 13 pick.
Right.
In the NBA, it typically takes a star player to develop their game 4, 5, 6 years before they become a legitimate star player. And then after that, they can reach superstar status by, winning championships. individual accolades, MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year, whatever it is.
Or you could be like a young Allen Iverson who puts up big numbers but
is irrelevant.
Really doesn't amount to anything.
Yeah, but you know what? What I would say is Allen Iverson's numbers weren't as fake as someone I would say like a James Harden or a Russell Westbrook. Allen Iverson at least carried an average 76ers team to the finals at least once. Was he very selfish? Was he extremely talented? Was he not team-oriented? Sure, fine. But he at least proved his worth as an individual. You know, that's why we still love AI. That's why he's a star. Now, was he ever the best of the best? No. No, he's not. That's what stops that's what stops a lot of players. You look at some of the point guards in this generation. John Wall, a waste of talent. Russell Westbrook, waste of talent. James Harden, waste of talent. You even look at Chris Paul's career. It's disappointing. Chris Paul, everywhere he goes, he makes the team instantly better. But he's never delivered in the finals. And he's never delivered in the postseason.
I think you're being a little unfair to Chris Paul because maybe you're right, and you mentioned that he makes a team better, but maybe you can only go so far with that particular team. But this last time, I think now he's getting tired. You see, I can get you there, but I can't push you over the hump because I'm old. Which is unfortunate. Too bad he's not.
Yeah, unfortunate, but at the same time, you know, his play has been inconsistent at times. But, you know, all this talk of Chris Paul doesn't deliver in the playoffs, I think that's a bunch of nonsense. They were up 3-2 in the series against Golden State, and then he went down with an injury. Like, he's had some unfortunate things happen to him. He's still a top 5 point guard of all time, if you ask me. I don't think that diminishes his career. I just think he's not one of the greatest ever when we have that top 10 conversation of all time. You can't enter that conversation without championships, individual accolades, and he'll go down as one of the better passers in NBA history. Very good, very undervalued, I think, on the defensive end, even at his age now. I think he's a damn good player. So you look at all these guys, fake numbers. You don't want a player like that. That's why Cade Cunningham is so good. But we do have are we good, Alex? All right, we're going to try this again. Sean, let's get a mic test.
Can you hear me?
Hopefully you're back up and running.
Yeah, can you hear me? Anything?
All right, Sean.
I hear something.
All right, Sean, let's just get it started. Pistons draft.
Okay.
Pick number 5. Me and Taylor were just having the conversation. Take a chance and swing for the fences. You can draft a role player over the next 2-3 years when you're picking 7, 9, 10, 11, 13, whatever it may be. I don't see the Pistons ever having a top 5 pick again moving forward unless something completely catastrophic happens, like Cade Cunningham misses the entire season. So I think you're all in. You're taking the highest available player in terms of ceiling. To you, who is that guy?
I think that the top... I mean, if Jaden Ivey falls, he's definitely the player with the highest ceiling. I don't know if I trust that he's very likely to reach that ceiling. But the big thing, I think, for the Pistons is Troy Weaver doesn't strike me as a person who's scared to take anybody. He's going to take whichever player he feels like is going to be the best player. I don't think he's going to play it safe. Now, he might come out of the draft with a player people aren't super jazzed about because maybe they had high hopes and the 2% chance a player like Shaedon Sharpe is going to be a superstar. But if Weaver doesn't see that, then I don't think he's going to basically roll those dice just to say he was being bold. I think he's just going to draft the best player. I think that comes down to a Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray, or a Benedict Mathurin right now.
So I think Ivy is that guy. I think he has enough raw talent and is athletic enough where if you can figure him out as a coach, and you know, is Dwayne Casey the guy that can do that? Maybe. But if you can figure him out as a coach and coach him up, then he can be that diamond in the rough. He can be the dangerous guy on there. But Before he was definitely going to be there at 5, but now it seems like things have changed. What do you think the chances are of him being there available at number 5 now?
Well, that would require me to have any confidence that I have any idea what the Sacramento Kings are going to do, and they're always full of surprises. So if they're going to take best player available, which they should, it's a very high likelihood that could be Jaden Ivey, which means he wouldn't be available at 5. Now you have a team that's already traded away one of the best young point guards in the league because they had a point guard glut or a young guard glut. They've invested in Davion Mitchell. They've invested, heavily with a big contract in that position. So maybe they say, we don't really have room to grow Ivey's game, and we're going to go Keegan Murray or something else. That would mean Ivey's available. But I think there's a good chance that the Kings maybe don't screw this one up. So that could be the pick at Ivey at 4.
All right, Sean, my question to you is, what the hell is this basketball team going to do with Jeremy Grant? Do you keep him on the roster to start the season? Do you trade him before the deadline? Or do you get rid of him before the season starts?
I want to say that the team knows that Jeremy Grant is just better elsewhere. His timeline fits better elsewhere. This is Cade's team, and Grant's a little too old to really be super impactful by the time Cade's got it all figured out. So I want to say he's going to be relocated. Whether that means he's relocated at the draft because they were able to pry the 7th pick out of Portland, or they've quote-unquote settled for a pick like Atlanta's a little post-lottery, maybe. But they could also be holding their fire because Grant is a good sign-and-trade piece, and a lot of the top players in this free agency period are restricted free agents. So you want to be able to dangle something that you can send back in a sign-and-trade so that the original team doesn't match. So if Pistons fans are very hopeful that they want, a DeAndre Ayton on the Pistons, that means maybe you don't want to see Grant traded for a mid-first-round pick or something like that because you want him to be used as a sign-and-trade piece. But I do think he's going to be relocated.
Yeah, it seems like the hot news out of Phoenix is that DeAndre Ayton is headed here for Jeremy Grant and pieces in a sign and trade. So I know we talked about this earlier this week. That seems to be what is going to happen, or has got a very good shot at happening. Because it seems like the Pistons will be interested in it. Phoenix is interested in it. So let's make it happen.
Yeah, I think the question there is, does Detroit actually have the best package to offer? Because you're starting to hear Atlanta is interested in maybe parting with John Collins. I think he's a piece that makes a lot of sense for Phoenix just as much as Grant and maybe like an Isaiah Stewart or somebody else. So how committed are both sides to a potential deal? And if Troy Weaver and the Pistons feel like maybe that deal is slipping away, do they shift focus and then try and make a move at the draft? I think there's a lot of balls in the air. There's a lot of possibilities, but there's no one possibility that's much more likely than any other. So he could be traded at the draft. He could be traded at the start of free agency. They could hold on to him because they think they can, jettison him for picks and an expiring contract at the deadline. But I don't think he's going to sign an extension, and I don't think he's just going to play out his contract in Detroit.
All right, fair enough. Well, Sean, look, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We do have to go to break. Appreciate you coming on. Would love to have you back soon. Maybe after the draft we can catch up. Everybody give Sean a follow on Detroit Bad Boys. He is the managing editor of the account. Do check it out. Maddie, before we go, could you tell us where we'll be at tomorrow?
Yes,
or excuse me, Friday. Sorry.
We'll be there Friday at the Big Boy in Taylor. The Strawberry Fest ends on Sunday. So make sure you head on over to your local Big Boy. They brought back some of the classics like the strawberry hotcakes and waffles, as well as strawberry French toast. They even started a new strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And of course, don't forget about their very delicious strawberry pie for just $1.99 with the purchase of $7.99 or more. So head on over to your local Big Boy.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there.
And that one Lions playoff win in 1991, yeah, Detroit fans were there.
Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on The Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2.
All right, Terry, we're back here on the show, 8:47. 13 minutes till the top of the hour, where we'll discuss the Lions reportedly blown away by Aidan Hutchinson in training camp. Good news, bad news, we'll get to that. Of course, we got to talk about which player you would rather send to the All-Star game. So, Terry, I'm going to ask you. Tarik Skubal, Miguel Cabrera, who are you sending to the All-Star game if you could only pick one?
I'm going to surprise you and say Miguel Cabrera, because the All-Star game is not necessarily about who's most deserving. It's who people want to see. America doesn't know who Tarik Skubal is. They know Miguel Cabrera. So I think America would rather see Miguel in that one at-bat in the 7th inning rather than Skubal pitch an inning. So it's if you're asking me who should be on the All-Star team, it would be Tarik Skubal, no question. But the All-Star game is about names. It's about stars. I mean, look how the starting lineup is picked. Fans vote. And fans are not thinking, let me see, this guy's batting .362 with 32 home runs and 100 RBIs, and this guy.
I don't care what the fans think. I think fans are
But
stupid.
you've given them that power.
That's fine. Again, if I had to send one, it would have to be Miguel Cabrera. Unfortunately, and I don't like saying that actually, but
oh my,
he does lead the team in batting average. He does lead the team in RBIs, and unfortunately, and not fortunate maybe, but Terry, it's also like a goodbye kind of season for him. You don't know what next year's going to look like for Miguel Cabrera.
Right.
No one's really clear. Will he make the roster next year? Will he be just a locker room guy? Will he be in the lineup? He's still batting better than everyone they have on the team now, but you're going to get
next year. He'll probably be batting 3rd.
Let's say next year is the going away year. Then I would rather send him next year. The only way I send him right now is if I know this is the last time we're going to see Miguel Cabrera batting every day or every 4 or 5 days. And that's his career. If he's like Albert Pujols, where it's his last year, I have no problem giving him a special invitation. But Tarik Skubal has been one of the better pitchers in the AL and in baseball.
Well, give him the special, whatever you want to call it, this year, because he's actually got good numbers. Next year he could be batting 179 or something stupid like that. We don't know how that last season is going to be. But when you look at this starting lineup, and I'm talking about the position players, there's no question Miguel Cabrera is the guy. But if you want to send him out this year because he's actually producing. He's a big name. Fans know him and like him. So I would. That's what I would do, because this is not picking an all-star is not crunching the numbers necessarily and saying here's the guy who deserves it most. It's not that. Baseball has made sure of that by letting the fans vote, and then what do the teams do? Hey, vote for our guy, no matter what he's doing. They allow the teams to have special presentations, special programs, promotions to promote our guy. So, if Major League Baseball is okay with that, then it's Miguel Cabrera. Or Miggy, as you young people call him.
Miggy. Miggy. I can't believe he's still their best hitter.
Shouldn't be. You know what? In a perfect world, he would be batting 6th or 5th, contributing here and there. A guy that you still want to see at bat because you don't know what's going to happen. He shouldn't be your only hope. Okay, the Tigers haven't scored in 20 games. Miguel's at the plate. This is the only hope you have of them putting up crooked numbers. Shouldn't be like, but that's because crooked.
Oh.
You ever heard of crooked numbers, young man?
I have.
Okay, you know what that is?
Yeah, when the numbers are all wonky.
Yeah, it's not a 1. It's a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7.
Tigers do that a lot.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the hell's going on here. Cricket numbers?
Crooked.
Crooked.
He said the same thing.
A crooked number
I heard cricket.
is not a 1.
That's
And
why
my
I brought it
immediate
up.
fish in
You know what?
Australia is stupid,
I think it must be my accent.
You have an accent?
Hey, I guess.
I don't think so.
I said crooked, and everybody thought I said cricket.
Well, you knew I would.
Of course.
Just wanted to hear cricket.
Cricket
Oh,
numbers,
God.
okay.
I did.
All right.
All right. Well,
I'm still hungover
how about
from
we
yesterday.
send
Please
one of
excuse
the
me.
higher paid players to the All-Star game as well? He's not getting enough love, right? This is a guy that's been getting booed. This is a guy that has been swinging at pitches that left Comerica Park already. Javi Baez, your off-season mega signing. That is the guy you invested your money in. And by the way, shout out to Chris Illich and the Illich family. The Little Caesar signed an exclusive. What is it? The official.
Yeah, official
Pizza
pizza of the
partner
NFL.
of the NFL.
Yeah.
The official pizza of the NFL.
Right.
Meanwhile, District Detroit is going to hell. You couldn't afford Carlos Correa.
Their pizza is also trash.
Yeah,
you
the
couldn't.
pizza's
You
not
couldn't
very
afford another pitcher. You couldn't afford another veteran bat before the season. Here is this exclusive deal with the NFL. Terry, you can't make this stuff up.
That's amazing. I thought if you're associated with the NFL, you would be associated with quality.
Oh, hell no.
No.
Their hot and readies are like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Except at the games.
Yeah,
At the
super,
games,
super slices is
Why are they good at the games and they suck
Because
everywhere
they know
else?
more people are going to get them at the game.
It's like any
But also,
any typical advertisement is like that. On the poster, they show you a girl who's fine as hell, and then you go to the club and it's all ugly chicks. I mean, that's just the
Where
game.
do you get that analysis from?
I kind of just put that together on the spot, buddy.
Okay, I figured that.
You know what else has declined? The Tiger Dog. The Tiger Dog. I haven't had one in 3 years. I had one last week.
what's a tiger dog?
A hot dog at Tiger game.
Oh.
Oh.
The
Just
Tiger
a hot
Dog.
dog.
Yeah, they used
Okay.
to be great. And
Don't they have different stations you can go to? Like some are boiled, some are grilled.
I'm
Are they
a
all
grill
grilled?
guy. I got a grilled hot dog, and it was just like, eh. And I used to be, damn, I can't wait for baseball season
I know
to
how
see
to-
baseball and to get my first Tiger Dog.
I know how to make that better for you. Just have a couple extra drinks. Everything
Okay. But I used to be able to eat them sober and say, hey, this is great. So now I have to have two $12 beers or $11 beers.
You know where the best hot dogs are? Golf courses.
No, the
No,
best
they're
hot
not.
dogs
No?
are at La Puma's in Rochester. Don't at me.
Okay.
Yes.
I have to check that out.
You should.
La Pumas.
Downtown Rochester. Good stuff.
You got
Adam
anything to
wouldn't
say?
know because
Oh yeah, he hasn't been
doesn't
there.
do
I've
anything.
never, so I don't.
Alice
have-
Westfall, we should go. Let's go get some hot
Adam
dogs,
has never
Alex.
been to Rochester. Have you ever been to downtown Rochester?
Of course he hasn't. He doesn't know what Rochester is. He's thinking
Where's
Rochester,
Rochester?
New York.
Like 30 minutes from here?
20-ish, 25.
You know, it's a little bit longer because when you go to Rochester Road, you still got a long way to go
Oh,
to
trust
get up
me,
there, and that
that's where I'm
traffic's
from,
ridiculous.
So my parents still live out there.
You know what we should do? We should take Adam to Rochester during the Christmas holidays.
Oh.
No, I refuse. I don't go.
No, but the lights are so pretty.
Not when you live north of downtown Rochester. And you
Well, I
have to
don't
drive
live
through
north
it.
of downtown Rochester. We should take it so, he likes a little lights.
We'll go during the week, though, so that nobody's there.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. No problem.
I don't like people.
I noticed.
Yeah, figures.
Maddie's motto: keep them in the friend zone, and
that's right.
I'm not even going to finish that sentence.
What she's saying is sort of like the dream cruise. You like the dream cruise unless you live near
on Woodward.
Woodward, right? Then you hate the dream cruise.
The dream cruise where all the cars just.
Yeah, all the fancy cars. Yeah, drive down.
I am a horrible citizen. I know. Just don't even bring it up, man.
So you've not been to the dream cruise?
No.
I've never been to the dream cruise.
Yeah, I was
either.
gonna say I've been maybe once when I was like 2 or 3 or 4.
But it's like every day, every night, these people are out here just looking
Right.
at each other's cars,
Yeah,
parked
they're
on
like,
the side
"Oh,
of
cool car,
Woodward.
man."
It's
My
kind of stupid,
1975 Chevrolet.
but you will put a little folding chair in a dusty ass parking lot and just watch cars go up and down the thing.
I like to look at cars at a car show. Like, I like to look at the old cars and the nice cars, but like, I don't want to watch your cars drive.
See, I go to
It's
the
like,
car.
oh, look, there it goes. Beep, beep, That's it.
Well, you know
I
why the
wonder
auto
if it's
show?
gonna make a loop and come back.
You know why the auto show isn't as great as it used to be? Now they put the
But it's in the
models in,
summer, right?
sensible. No, they put them in sensible clothing.
Oh.
Used to be back in the day, man. They had skirts this long, the boobies be hanging out. Now stuff has changed. Now we gotta make them look, more professional.
Terry doesn't like the auto show because there's no boobies anymore.
I don't get it. Look, man, I'm just saying.
The
Terry's
boobies are there, but they
expectations-
cover them up now.
That's not right, Terry. I feel you. That's wrong. That's wrong.
Have you
know
been
what
to
else
the
is
auto
wrong?
show?
I have.
Oh, bam! All right.
Adam's done something. Let's go.
I did.
Hey, all
See,
right.
I have something in me. I also have great bets tonight. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup
Yes.
Finals. I'm excited. Colorado
Lightning Avalanche.
versus Tampa Bay. As much as I want Tampa Bay to a 3-peat, I don't think it's going to happen. Take the Avalanche to win by a goal and a half. Get them to cover the spread. I think the Avalanche absolutely crush Tampa Bay in Game 1. As much as I love Vasilevsky, ain't going to happen. So get to MyBookie. Sign up on MyBookie if you don't have an account already and place your bets there. Use promo code Woodward and they'll match your first deposit. And as always, if you are like Maddie and you suck at betting and you have a problem, call 1-800-270-7117.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the bottom line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Adam, what is your favorite event to go to?
My favorite event right now is to go to Bedrock Detroit, downtown, Monroe Street Midway. I'm so excited.
Top of the hour.
Top of the hour.
Brought to you by Bedrock.
Top of the hour brought to you by Bedrock Detroit.
We'll
Terry,
get there.
the Lions are reportedly blown away by Aidan Hutchinson in the camp. His, quote, leadership, his athletic ability is more than they ever projected. Now, I get it. You draft the guy you want him. You serve him up a ton of gas. You're hyped. I get it. It's the off season. A single football game has not been played, so everybody can be excited. I know, guys.
I don't buy the
Is he that
leadership
good?
thing. I buy he's athletic. They probably do like him. They're going to talk him up because this is their guy. This is their Matthew Stafford on the defensive side of the ball. So I just don't buy the leadership thing. I don't think a rookie with grown men could be that much of a leader. He could be showing some qualities. He could be developing that, but I don't buy him as being a leader at this point.
Well, look at that defense, right? Who is the leader of that defense? Who's available that has played? Tracy Walker? What, Anzalone? So it is a young team. It's an inexperienced defense. You have a young secondary. You've brought in young secondary players, one through the draft, one through free agency. Your corners are young. They're up and coming. Jeff Okudah hopefully returns and plays a full season. If he does, it would technically be his first full season. Inexperienced, young. And then you go to the defensive line. 2 young interior linemen going into year 2. You have Charles Harris, Aquara, okay, but are they leaders of your football team, your defense? I don't see leadership on the defensive side of the ball.
They may not be leaders, but they can still tell a rookie to shut up.
They can tell a rookie to shut up. I don't think they need to tell Aidan to shut up because his work ethic is quiet, lead by example, and that eventually, probably next year or the year after, he will be a team captain. I have no doubts about that. And he will be the Detroit Lions, I would say, the mast to this team. He will be everything they look to and follow moving forward.
Here's the key. When he becomes team captain, who's going to appoint him that? Will it be the coaches or the players?
I believe the players.
It's a difference.
He's going to earn it.
Okay.
I think he will earn it from... Again, I think being a team captain is meaningful. It's special. It's something that when your group of guys vote on you, that means something. For Aidan Hutchinson to be a captain next year, it's not only on the field performance. That is probably 60% of it, maybe even 55 only. The other 40 to 45% is what are you doing in the locker room? What are you doing before the games? What are you doing after the games? Are you in the headlines for the right or wrong reasons? Are you treating us well? Are you treating us with respect? When we're going through, I don't know, when we're going through all of our drills, are you the first one in and out? Like, who are you? And they're going to find all that
Aidan
out.
Hutchinson, can you get us popsicle breaks? If he can pull that off, then yeah, he'll be a team captain and he'll be voted on by the players.
I think they're so young on the defensive side of the ball that he would develop into a leader, I think, midway into the season. And I wouldn't be surprised. Again, who's the leadership group? Anzalone, Tracy Walker, Charles Harris?
At least they've got some grit on them. I could see it next year. And a lot of it's going to be because this is the Lions' number 2 pick. He was projected to be the number 1 guy in the draft. They'll play it up. He'll be a captain by next year or the year after. I just can't see that for a rookie, even though the team is young.
Yeah, look, and another thing that may not be highlighted all the time or communicated on most days is this is a different coaching staff than what was here before. Matt Patricia was just an awful head coach. The toxic culture, the toxic locker room, the communication just in general was awful. The way they schemed and played defense was some of the worst we've seen in NFL history. They were historically bad for a reason. And now you add in some resemblance of competency, some resemblance of normalcy, something that, Terry, it's not that it's so great or it's elite, but it's damn for sure better than before. And that alone will allow you to improve. And I talked about how fortunate this team has been since Brad Holmes took over as GM.
You know who could benefit the most by this? A guy that we've kind of written off, Jeff Okudah.
Oh, absolutely.
Jeff Okudah, I mean, you have to understand, yes, he was injured. Yes, he didn't look good in the past game. Yes, there are a lot of flaws in his game. But now there is a different philosophy. There's a philosophy to be aggressive. You go from a coaching staff who didn't think pressuring the quarterback was important to one that's saying, oh, no, that's what we got to do. We got edge rushers. We got to pin our ears back, and our pants are on fire. That can benefit a guy like Jeff Okudah if he buys in. And according to the coaches, he's buying in. He's all dialed in the way that they describe it. So I think this could be the guy that we've sort of forgotten. And then by the mid-season, we're like, okay, this Jeff Okudah is not bad. He may not be worth the number 3 pick, which he should be, but he's helping this team, and he's a bitch out there.
He is, and there's nothing better for a secondary player than a good pass rush.
And good coaching.
And good coaching, of course. And I think Jeff Okudah will get very good coaching from Aubrey Pleasant, from Aaron Glenn. He's going to benefit. And look, he is a bust. It's not that I think he is a bust. He is and has been a bust so far, today. At the end of the year, he can be all-pro. That would be fantastic. He still has to play out his career. So far, it's been a big disappointment.
How about we say this about him? He's not a bust, but he's busting.
Oh,
in other words, he's trending that way, but now it's a new coaching staff. We have to see how he comes back from the Achilles injury, which is no guarantee you're going to be 100%. But if you're getting good coaching and there's a scheme that benefits you, then he could be the guy that we put on our plus side. You know, he's a plus player. He's helping, blah, blah, blah. I think that could be that guy. And you know what? It would be like getting another, maybe a mid-round, first-round pick to put on this roster. Because I don't expect him to play well enough to warrant being the number 3 pick, but maybe he'll play well enough to be the number 14, 15, 16 pick. And so you're dumping this new guy on your roster. You feel me?
I feel you. And you can treat him as another first-round pick that's joining the team this year, right?
Yes, sir.
And I can respect that. And I can respect people being optimistic about his return. Even he's been optimistic about his return, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been very, very active, very vocal, how good he feels. Good for him.
He's not
so
being.
But at the end of the day, what has he done? Right? At the end of the day, all the good work that Dan Campbell has done with the culture, what does it mean if they go 3-13-1 this year again? What does it mean?
It means you get your quarterback.
If Jeff Okudah gets hurt in week 3 and he had 5 interceptions in the first 3 games, but he gets hurt in week 4 and let's say he's out for the season, then what? Wait till next year? Oh, well, he looked good in the beginning at least. At the end
he
of
gets
the day,
another shot.
Yeah, but at the
end
of the day, we keep kicking the can down the road. Right now, he hasn't delivered. He hasn't been worthy of a top 3, top 5, top 10 pick. Having said that, yes, he was very talented coming out of college. Yes, I believe with this coaching staff, he will be much better than what he was under Matt Patricia. Having said that, be healthy. I would accept an above-average season or even a slightly above-average season from Jeff Okudah if he could just line up for 16, 17 games. That would be nice. And then I could look to the future, Terry, and say, well, you know what? His career projection has really been at a downslope. We're now trending upwards. He had a solid first year when healthy, going into his 4th year where they're going to want to make a decision on whether they're going to extend him for a 5th-year option. Well, let's see how he does next year. Then you'd be in a situation like you are with, I don't know, sound familiar? TJ Hutchinson.
Right.
So you're going to be able to make decisions on the guys. You don't give up on these guys. They are players on your team still. He was a highly touted corner coming out of college. But that doesn't change the fact that he's been injured. When he was on the field, he wasn't any good outside of Arizona. And yes, you can blame it on Matt Patricia. You can blame it on God. You can blame it on whoever you want. At the end of the day, those are just the reality and the facts.
Those are the facts. You're so right, Mr. Kaline. But I will say this. With the scheme that Matt Patricia had, what young corner is going to show out or is going to show he's a plus player? Who's going to lock down?
Owari has been showed a lot of promise last season. Iffy, again, injured. This is a young, up-and-coming secondary that a lot of them are in prove-it mode. That could be very good for the Lions. It could be also very inexperienced, and they get beat a lot. But I don't see last season happening this year again. I think the days of the blowouts, the missed assignments, the blown coverages, that's done. And again, call me crazy. I think the Lions will be one of, I think, a top 3, top 5 biggest pain in the ass team to play against in the NFL. Not because they're better than you, because the way they're going to play. The way they're going to play football this year is just going to be a big hassle, Terry. It's going to be annoying. Teams are so used to finesse. They're going to punch you in the mouth on the offensive and defensive line. Jeff Okudah could very well
they'll
benefit
lose a
from
bunch of close games.
I don't think so. I think with the schedule they have this year, the games they lost last year, I believe they will win, and they are prepared to win this season.
So they're going to have a winning record this year, according to you.
No. We're still
in other words, they're going to lose the majority of their games close. Unless you're picking them to go.
Yeah, shut up, Adam.
No,
10-7.
Shut the fuck up, Maddie.
Or 9-8.
No, they're still a 7.
Now.
No, I don't know how you're confused.
Well,
everything I just said had nothing to do with a winning record, nothing to do with 10 wins. Well, what are you talking about, Terry?
They're just going to be a pain in the ass to play.
They are going to be a pain in the ass to play.
But they'll lose the majority of their games.
Because they're early. I still don't think this team is talented enough.
All right, follow me. Here we go. I, Adam, believe the Lions will be a pain in the ass to play.
Okay.
Can you say that?
All right. I think they're going to be a pain in the ass to play.
But they will lose the majority of their games.
Yeah. Well, I didn't change that.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. Not once in that entire sentence.
You sounded like they were going to have a winning record.
No, Terry. No, the point I'm making is unless Dan Campbell is this guy that, let's say he's a top 10 coach this year, right? He's just phenomenal. He's better than we all expect. Well, they're probably going to have a winning record. I'll say that. But with the team they have right now, how young they are, how new they are, I think 7 to 8 wins is fair.
Okay.
And I still think they're going to be a pain in the ass to play against.
Great, but that's still losing the majority of your games.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But do I expect this team to be a 10, 11, 12-win football team this year? I don't. So I'm not quite sure how I'm supposed to answer you because I do not have the expectation that they're division contenders or division winners. So when I sit there and say, I can sit there and say they're going to win 7, 8 games, Terry, and also look at you in your face and tell you, hey, Terry, they do these 4 or 5 things really well. Now, they're not complete. They're not a perfect team yet. They're not a contender, in my opinion, yet. But that doesn't take away from the fact that they're still going to be.
But if they are the third biggest pain in the ass to play, and they still have a losing record, that would mean Dan Campbell is making mistakes as a coach. Because if you're one of the top 3 teams that nobody wants to play, that means you're winning games. It can't be, we just writing games and boy, we're giving you hell, but we're losing.
What the hell's the expectation? But
put them as there's how many teams are in the NFL? 32.
How many teams can play the way the Browns played, not this past season, but the year prior? The way the Lions can play this year? How many teams can run the ball effectively down your throat? The Niners, the Browns, the Lions. Maybe Denver, but we'll see how they look with Russell Wilson. That's about it. Teams that win the game at the line of scrimmage, that control the clock, that force you into uncomfortable positions. Not many teams do that. Having said that, you can win in a million ways in the NFL. There's the Rams, the Chiefs, the sexy teams, the Raiders. Fine. That's not what the Lions are. And that's why I told you when they beat the Cardinals last year, that for me was my wake-up moment. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that happening in the future. Yeah, you can control the clock. You can play okay defense and get away with it and run the ball very well. That's how they're going to play. That's their strength. That doesn't mean they're going to win 12, 13 games. They're not. I don't believe they're ready for that yet. I don't think they have enough talent on the roster, and I don't know if this coach is that damn good. I hope he proves me wrong. But right now, none of that, nothing is pointing you in the direction of, this is a 10, 11, 12-win team. Nobody thinks that.
So what you're saying is they're scrappy.
I think they're tough to play against, yes. I think they're a scrappy team. They can run it on every down. They could throw it on every down if they so chose to. Now, would that be more effective than running? Probably not. But the point is, when you scheme for a team like the Detroit Lions, there is no, hey, we're going to stop this player today. Because that's not how the Lions roll. The Lions roll with a multitude of players who any given Sunday will be maybe X-factor players. But at the end of the day, it's going to be simple. Hand the ball off, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Ton of play action for Jared Goff, and you move on from there. No,
you don't really have a guy on offense that you have to game plan for. Maybe Jameson, he might be that guy. But other than that, he's a rookie. There's not a plethora of players that you look at and say, "Oh my God, I'm scared of these guys." We're in for a long day because of them. Maybe the offensive line. That's it. Who do you fear on the Detroit Lions?
Right now, I would say from an offensive standpoint, you are trying to figure out how you're going to go up against that offensive line. You're not scared of an individual X-factor player like a Jamar Chase, a Devontae Adams. You don't have to worry about that with the Lions.
But you're scared of a scheme.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
You're not scared of a scheme. You are
concerned about it.
You are concerned with how am I going to deal with this? Because I'm not coming out here and saying, oh, we're just going to double Devontae Adams and we'll play the game of football, everything else the way it is. It isn't that simple. They can run it with DeAndre Swift in the game. They can do it with Jamal Williams. They can do it with Craig Reynolds. They could do it with Jamar Jefferson. And at any one of those moments, they could also run play action and roll out. And whether it's Amon-Ra St. Brown underneath, Josh Reynolds on a comeback route, whether it's even the running back slipping out of the backfield for a screen, you are going to have a tough time predicting what the Lions are going to do. They're going to be unpredictable. And that's also something that is an advantage. Does it get you to a division title? Look, Jared Goff is their quarterback. They are young at wide receiver. They are unproven in terms of health at tight end and running back. They're unproven on the defense. They're young on the defense. It's an early in the process team. But I know what they're building at least, and I can at least acknowledge, hey, if I'm scheming against the Detroit Lions for an upcoming week, I'm not enjoying it. I'm not, because it's unpredictable.
I think they're going to be predictable. But, all the stuff that you're talking about, I don't think it's going to happen this year. Maybe next year. Maybe next year teams are like, damn, I don't want to play these guys anymore.
I think we'll see that this year. I really do. But we are going to go to break. When we get back, Terry, we have to discuss some college football. I do have a question for you regarding the Michigan and Michigan State quarterback situations. We'll get to that in a little bit. But before we do, Maddie, I have to tell everybody about where I spent my morning, and that was at Planet Fitness in the gym, getting my gym on. Let's just call it what it is, guys. We're all trying to get in shape and live a better life. But also, I need to tell you what Planet Fitness is offering all of you, your children, or your relatives, whoever it may be. It's called the High School Summer Pass. Planet Fitness is inviting high school teens, the ages of 14 to 19, to work out for free all summer long. And it ends August 31st. For free. If you're a 14, 15-year-old, 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old, you're looking to get into the gym, you don't have access to your school's gym, or you don't have a ride, but Planet Fitness is near you and it's closer and you can walk or ride your bike or whatever it may be, it is absolutely free for the entire summer. Take advantage of it. Visit planetfitness.com or Planet Fitness near you.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Well, we are in for a hot day here in Metro Detroit today. So if you don't want to be outside, don't worry. You can still get your tan on inside at Chili Peppers Tanning. That's where you find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless sanitized rooms and trained certified tanning professionals. Don't forget, of course, to join the Pepper Club for all the best deals on unlimited tanning. Chili Peppers has the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans.
Chili Peppers Tan.
And we're back. Terry Foster, myself,
Yes,
Fish, Madeline, and Alex
Wow.
in the room. I'm just joking with you. Come on. You're my favorite person here.
I know.
So
It's beautiful.
it is a beautiful thing. Terry.
Yes, sir.
College football last year was quite interesting in the state of Michigan. Michigan and Michigan State started the season 7-0. It was a very nice start. Just as a neutral, somebody who doesn't support either school, or at least I'm not affiliated, right? I didn't go to Michigan or Michigan State. But the point is, I at least enjoyed it very much. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was awesome that they were undefeated going into the game. I thought the game itself last season was awesome. Having said that, you know, we talk a lot. I've brought up, you know me, Terry. I am very adamant for J.J. McCarthy to start this year for Michigan.
You are, and you've been a strong supporter.
And I haven't shut the hell up about it. So I'm going to just push it to the side a little bit because I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
And I'm asking you this question because I'm biased, and my answer will lean towards the Michigan State player. So, and not biased because my disdain and dislike for a certain individual. Not personally, just on the field. So, Terry, Payton Thorne or Cade McNamara, who would you rather have as your quarterback going into the season?
I mean, I'm torn on this. I'd have to have competition and see them both play because I think they're basically the same player. But I think Thorne does a few more things. Now, I say this, I am in a Spartan family, and they can't stand him. They'd rather have Cade McNamara as their quarterback.
They haven't seen Cade McNamara play.
No, they've seen him play. They don't like either one of them, but they see Thorne play more, and it seems like whichever guy you've seen play the most, that's the guy you don't want. So they kill Payton Thorne every week. And I said, the guy is not that bad.
He's not.
I think he's solid. And Cade McNamara might be solid with a small S rather than the big S. So I would flip a coin and probably go with Thorne.
Well, I wouldn't flip a coin. For me, it's quite simple. Payton Thorne, and it's not even close. Michigan weren't. I mean, yes, Michigan are a heavy offense, run the ball team. But Michigan State averaged 176 yards a game on the ground last season. Michigan, I believe, led the Big Ten with like 211, 212. Significant difference, mindset difference, but also, hey, they're running the ball. Cade McNamara was only sacked 7 times during the regular season, Terry. Or, excuse me, 6, actually.
Okay.
6 times last year during the regular season.
Sounds good to me.
Payton Thorne, double the amount. Actually, more than double, triple the amount.
So that's a good thing?
No, it's not a good thing. Well, the point I'm telling you is one is a protected quarterback who had to do nothing all season and rode a very talented team and a very talented coaching staff and a very talented defense and a very talented run game to a Big Ten title. And that's
True,
amazing.
But Michigan State, even though they didn't gain as many yards, they had that threat that you
Kenneth
had
Walker.
to pay attention. Yeah, the Kenneth Walker.
Well, here, I'll put it this way. In one fewer game, Payton Thorne has thrown more than 700 yards compared to Cade McNamara last season. He's thrown 27 touchdowns last season. Cade McNamara threw 15. Cade McNamara threw 6 interceptions, barely throwing the ball last year. And throwing the ball a lot was Payton Thorne, and he only threw 10. Payton Thorne threw the ball 389 times. 70 more than Cade McNamara, and he played one fewer game. And I think the point where I'm getting at, Terry, is, one, I think Payton Thorne can throw the ball better. 2, are they both solid, amazing quarterbacks that you'd want on a legitimate contender? No, you'd want a better quarterback. Let's just call it what it is. Payton Thorne throws duds. He throws some balls where you scratch your head and you're like, you're a college quarterback? and so does Cade McNamara.
Or you said, dude, what did you see on that play? Are you kidding me?
And where I'm going with this, and the point I want to make is, we're scratching our head over Payton Thorne, Michigan State, Michigan quarterback Cade McNamara. Let's just call it what it is. In the 14 games, including the Georgia game, that Cade McNamara played, in the 14 games last season, you know how many of them he threw one or fewer touchdown passes?
7.
9. You know how many times he attempted less than 20 passes?
8.
7.
Okay.
The point is, they win in spite of a quarterback. Now, against Michigan State, let's just call it what it is. I have to give credit where credit is due. Or, against Penn State. Against Penn State, Cade McNamara stepped up last season and made the greatest throw in college football the entire year. A 2.5-yard underneath route to Eric All, where the DBs ran into each other and he took it to the house and scored, and Michigan won the football game. The greatest throw in the college football season last season. It's an amazing throw. I don't know if you saw it.
I saw the throw, and you were being bad.
I know. I know.
But the other thing is, isn't Cade McNamara being held back by Jim Harbaugh? From the standpoint, Harbaugh did this at Stanford. He sort of did it in the NFL, and he's doing it at Michigan. He learned under Bo Schembechler, and he's got bold ways. Let's run this damn football, and no matter who's the quarterback, is he going to play the same way? Do you think if JJ gets the job, that Jim Harbaugh is going to change his ways? He's going to say, okay, I got this 5-star quarterback, now I'm going to let him rip. Or will he just let him rip a little bit more? I think he'll hold him back too. If JJ is the quarterback, you're going to be bitching about him because of Jim Harbaugh.
Well, that's why I always bring him up. Harbaugh's failed to deliver a quarterback during his time at Michigan. And that cost them probably 2 or 3 Big Ten titles. Because I think they had a defense early on that could compete, like they did against Ohio State. They just didn't have an offense. And the defense under Don Brown was a bit overrated, let's just call it. He was an average defensive coordinator. They were taking advantage of Big Ten football, and let's just call it what it is. The first 3-4 games of the year are always a cakewalk. But beyond the point, Adham, Terry, they'll ask me, well, how would Payton Thorne have done against Georgia? Probably not any better. Not the point. Not the point. Payton Thorne, one, is a better quarterback than Cade McNamara. Cade McNamara is a smart quarterback. He's a game manager. Michigan, I swear to you, I am not knocking you. I am asking a simple question this morning. The lines are open if you want to call in and answer this question. I want to know what playing with a game-managing quarterback is going to do for you. Do you have the defense that Georgia has? Do you have the talent on the offensive side of the ball that Georgia has? I want to know. Can you recruit like Georgia? If the answer is no, that's why you start J.J. McCarthy.
The answer is no.
Cade McNamara would be nice for a Georgia football team, like a Stetson Bennett. That would be nice, but Stetson Bennett also better than Cade McNamara. But the point, again, I can compliment him. He's a game-managing quarterback, makes smart decisions most of the time. But what did Michigan do against Ohio State in the biggest game of the year? What'd they do, Terry?
They won.
They let Cade McNamara rip the ball a little bit. Okay? And when he threw that red zone interception when they were up 7 and could have been up 14, you know what they did? They took the ball the hell out of his hands. And in the 4 most important games of the year, you ready for this? 5 games. So Michigan State, because I'll include Penn State. Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State, Iowa, and Georgia. The 5 most important games of the year. He threw for 383 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 interception against Michigan State. Wow, it was good, right?
That's good.
Unless you watch the fourth quarter, you actually realize he did nothing in the fourth quarter and couldn't complete a pass on third or fourth down, let alone he overthrew his receiver by 15 yards who was wide open in the in the end zone that would have sealed the game, but we don't have to bring that up. Against Penn State, 19 of 29, 217 yards. I think his best performance of the season. Very accurate, even though they're all underneath routes, but, the rest is history. Ohio State, 13 of 19, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Iowa, 16 of 24, 169 yards, a touchdown and an interception. And, of course, Georgia, I don't have to bring it up because it was an awful game, 2 interceptions. He threw 5 interceptions of the 6 he threw all year in the most important games of the year. Again, Michigan, what's the ceiling with him? And I'm not talking ceiling of, we can win 9 games with him guaranteed this year, Adam, or 10 games, and we may beat Ohio State for a Big Ten title. Okay. What does that mean for Michigan?
That's pretty much what Michigan
is
hopes for. That's
so
what they
why don't you want to be better? If J.J. McCarthy is just worse, fine, so be it. Don't bitch about recruiting 5-star players. When you bring in another 5-star recruit at quarterback, that kid from IMG, I don't want to hear it.
If he was so great, why doesn't he just go in and win the job?
I think a lot of it is coaching too. I think Harbaugh, if you have a Dabo Swinney, a Lincoln Riley in there, Cade McNamara's not starting. This is also a philosophy issue with Michigan. So it's not just Adam doesn't like Cade McNamara. I don't like Michigan's stubbornness right now. Clemson aren't Clemson if Dabo Swinney doesn't recruit and completely innovate the offense. And what do you know? Deshaun Watson, boom. Then Trevor Lawrence, boom. You become a national program. What did Lincoln Riley do so well at Oklahoma? He had quarterbacks that were mobile, could throw the football, and put up points every single game. What do you know? 2 of them went number 1 overall. You want to recruit quarterback play, which is very important. You don't believe me. You don't believe Lincoln Riley. You don't believe Dabo Swinney. Go ask Nick Saban, the greatest college football coach ever. He's even telling you, hey, I can't win just by playing defense. I need Bryce Young. I need Tua Tagovailoa. I need Jalen Hurts. Even he adapted because it used to be all those little skinny white boys that couldn't throw a football, and they would just hand it off to Derrick Henry, hand it off to Mark Ingram, and Alabama was successful. You can't get away with that anymore in today's NFL. Or excuse me, in today's college football.
Well,
and Michigan are trying
some
to
of
do
those quarterbacks in Alabama were not skinny white boys. They were white boys with fat asses. I mean, come on. Well, a couple of them were kind of tubby.
Well, you get my point, Terry.
Yeah, I
so
hear you.
It's not even just a Cade issue.
Here's the
school
mistake
issue.
we make as a community. We look at Jim Harbaugh and say, he played quarterback in the NFL. He's a quarterback whisperer. He's not. We have to go back to his base, which he will not, which so far he has not let go of. He trained and played under Bo. He's got the Bo tendencies. And what was the Bo tendencies? 1970s and 1980s football. Bo was always told, if you have the better team, don't take chances. There's no need to. You'll win. You'll win the Big Ten half the time. And that's the mentality. See, you have more expectations than they do in Michigan football. Michigan football is still our number one thing is to win the Big Ten. That's not your top priority. So as long as that's their mentality, I think Cade McNamara could very well be their quarterback because he delivered everything Michigan wanted. All Michigan wants is to beat Ohio State and win the Big Ten.
I thought they wanted to win national championships or get to a championship game. Again,
no, I don't think that is a goal.
We're going to talk crap about Lincoln Riley in the chat. You better choose your words carefully. Because all I see is 12-2, 12-2, 12-2, 9-2, 10-2. All I see is 2 college football playoff appearances in those 4.5 years. What do you got? 1? Oh, your first Big Ten title since 04? Yeah, their defenses suck. So what? Nick Saban's defense couldn't stop Georgia. Wake the fuck up. Idiots. We got to go to break.
This guy is spicy.
When we get back, Terry, this is an interesting one.
What's that real hot pepper?
What do you mean?
Ghost pepper?
The ghost, that's what he is. The ghost pepper.
I'm a ghost pepper?
He is.
I will never try one of those things, by the way. That one chip challenge, I can't do it.
Not the one chip.
Yeah,
I won't do the one.
The one chip. I'm not trying to like drink 3 gallons of milk just to breathe again.
That's not ghost
I can't
pepper.
have
That's just
milk
all the hot
either.
peppers.
You know what they gave me when I ate the hot sauce with the Fat Boys?
Nothing?
No, horseradish.
Oh.
Ew, I'm not eating that either.
It sort of kind of worked, but the watermelon was like.
You probably could have just like taken a shot of tequila and called it a day.
Of course, Maddie would
You
go
know
that
what worked
route.
later?
That does not surprise
I had a couple
me.
glasses of wine. They kind of
Oh,
worked.
how do you not?
There you go. Alcohol.
All right, well, speaking of alcohol, I'll recommend the perfect drink for you this summer. That's the Mulligan, brought to you by Gypsy Vodka. The Mulligan is the official drink of the summer. It is officially here. It is 8% alcohol mixed with lemonade, iced tea, and Gypsy Vodka. When you're out on the golf course or hanging out in the backyard with your friends, the Mulligan is calling your name. Ask for the Mulligan at your local golf course or at a Total Wine near you. And as always, please drink responsibly.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. We brought back some of the classic breakfast items like the strawberry French toast, hot cakes, and waffle. If you're not feeling breakfast, try our new strawberry bacon chicken wrap, crispy chicken wrap, nacho wrap, or strawberry salad. The perfect recipe for springtime. And don't forget to grab dessert, including our berry delicious strawberry pie for only $1.99 with the purchase of $7.99 or more at participating Big Boy locations.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Our friends at Alta Equipment know that when it comes time to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. That's why Alta has partnered with the biggest names in construction. If you've got a big project coming up, they've got you covered. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today. Alta Equipment, where uptime matters.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Terry, Faygo now has ice cream.
Yes, sir.
That doesn't sound good to me.
That shouldn't shock you, though. Everyone has ice cream in the summertime. Everyone
That actually
says,
sounds good, like a Faygo root beer float. Think about it.
yeah. Like
Right.
everyone in
Like
summer
a
decides to
popsicle
come
or
up
like
with
a
ice cream.
filled one?
No, this is ice cream, not a popsicle.
Yeah.
Oh, so like in the...
That you
Yeah,
put
yeah.
a spoon in and
eat it.
eat it.
And it's actually
Right.
pretty good.
You don't need ice cream.
Yeah, he doesn't know what ice cream is.
He just eats popsicles.
I haven't had ice cream.
Have you had Faygo?
Yeah, a long time ago when I was a kid.
Okay.
I haven't had
Okay.
Faygo in about like 16, 18 years.
What kind of Faygo flavors are we talking about here?
I'd say root beer, the red one, and those are the only two I know.
Well,
about Rock
there's
and Rye?
the red one is red pop,
Okay.
orange, grape, which should be your favorite.
Do you know what ice cream flavors they're making out of Faygo? Is it all of them? Is it some of them?
Well, they're doing a chocolate rock and rye.
Oh.
Grape, orange.
Oh, I got it. Let's see. 6 flavors of Faygo Pop ice cream. We've got unicorn swirl,
Okay.
chalk and rye,
Yeah.
groovy grape, Motown jam, citrus mist, and peaches and cream.
So they're not going too outrageous.
Yeah, so
for
it's
their
not
first
even the
time
true
out.
Faygo colors.
Yeah.
I would not eat any of those.
Chocolate one's okay. That's the only one I'd probably.
Who eats
No.
ice cream?
I don't.
A lot of
Yeah,
people
see?
do.
Yeah, a
But
lot
I
of
also
people
have
do.
a milk allergy,
Oh, that's why.
so I vomit.
You know, they have little pills you can take.
But maybe we'll talk.
do.
We'll try this Faygo ice cream on what the food when it
Oh
starts.
yeah, what the food?
Yeah. When I see it, I'll believe it.
I tried if they did the red pop flavor.
Okay.
The red pop flavor is
No, you
disgusting.
have to try it. If you see it, you have to eat it. That's what the. That's.
If you see it, you have to eat it. I like
Yeah.
that.
I think the
tagline.
only one, if they had this flavor, I wouldn't like is orange, because they have like this like orange cream ice cream, not Faygo, but somebody else, and it just
That'd be more like
Yeah,
a
that
doesn't
sherbet.
taste good.
Yeah.
Or like a sherbet.
Yeah, it's like a sherbet, but it's got some white crap in it. It's
Yeah, that does not sound like a good time.
Are they white chocolate chips?
No, it's no chocolate chips.
Oh, okay.
It's just this white filling, and it's not good.
Oh, you know what it is? Probably coconut then.
No, dude, it's not coconut.
It's just cream.
It's cream.
That's
Fish.
the white.
Stop making stuff up.
Fish, shut the hell up. You just stick to sumo wrestling in Australia, buddy.
Screw yourself.
Whoa. Whoa. I wasn't ready for that one.
Well, we're going to take another quick break because we are behind on the show. I apologize, everybody. We'll be back in a minute. It won't be long. And we are going to talk about the Red Wings and about what the hell is going on in the world of sports. So it should be fun. And then, of course, we'll get to Mailbag at 9:50. But before we do, Maddie, could you tell everybody at home about our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency?
Yes, I can. Our friends at SMA help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the F Word, helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions. Go to thesportsma.com if you are struggling or know somebody who is, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hey, Scott for the Bet Show. Woo-wee, it's a hot one out there today. Make sure you're out there staying cool. I'll talk about something else that's hot. Bet our best bets. Gave you another winner yesterday. Also, what's hot is oddstrader.com. You got to get over to that app store and download it today. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and it's the best place to check all the odds at all the sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, let's stay hot. I'm going to give you another winner today. Let's roll with the Padres to beat the Cubs. Cubbies lost 8 in a row. It's going to be 9. Oddstrader.com. Woodward bets. Check it out.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
If you're looking for a place to stay cool and have some fun, head on over to the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. That's home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. They have two ways to play: $12 open unlimited play, or you can reserve a private lane for just $120. Don't forget, of course, they have a $2 mystery beer machine as well as multiple full bars. Check it out at thefoalingwarehouse.com.
All right, back 9:43. Terry?
Yes, sir.
Sebastian Cossa, 19-year-old. Some will say he's a wonder kid, the 15th overall pick a few years ago by Steve Yzerman. Just wrapped up the WHL playoffs. They just won the championship. He was the most outstanding player. He had won, I believe, his 5 Player of the Week awards during that stretch. He has been phenomenal. A sub-2 goals allowed on average. The kid is playing at an exceptional level. My question, Terry, is it's not often we see a 20, 21, hell, even 22-year-old goalie, rookie, walk into the NHL and just hit. Goalie is a position that takes a lot of time. And in the WHL, you're playing up against, I don't want to say not the best competition, but let's just call it what it is. Once you get to the AHL, you're going to see a lot of kids, not kids, you're going to see a lot of guys that will be called up to the league and sent back down to the minors. You're going to be going up against much better players. So caution in the wind, maybe, with Sebastian Cossa, but the kid looks legit.
You always have to be cautious with goalies, but you can also be optimistic that this could be the guy. You have to be optimistic that Steve Yzerman has enough goalies in the pipeline that somebody's going to hit. He's got a bunch of young goalies. He's got prospects. He's got young goalies on the team. Somebody you would have to believe is going to hit, and maybe it's going to be this guy. Because once again, do you believe in the Yzer plan? I'm looking at the Tampa Bay Lightning, and yes, there's a bunch of players on there that he did not select because he's been gone for a while. But to me, this looks like Steve Yzerman's team, or I associate it with Steve Yzerman's team. If he can do it in Tampa, he can do it here in Detroit.
So the thing with, I'll use Tampa as an example. Andre Vasilevsky.
Yes.
In 2014, he was 20 years old.
Yes, sir.
All right, born in 94. He was 20 years old in 2014. He made his debut in the NHL. He played 13 games. Okay. In his second season at age 21, he played 21 games.
Scoot.
At age 22, he played 47 games. And then at age 23, he took over the reins completely for the Tampa Bay Lightning, where he then, since then, has started 65, 53, 52, 42, short season, by the way, and then a 63 games in a season. He's their guy, right? He became their guy at 23. Third in the Vezina Award. First, a two-time All-Star, Conn Smythe winner, Vezina winner. Finished in the top 3 in the Vezina Award 4 consecutive years. Likely this will be the 5th, and he may even have a chance to win it. Having said all that, this is a guy, let's just, again, 19-year-old Sebastian Cossa. If I just use what is successful around the league, you probably won't see him in the NHL till the end of next season, and then he'll play 15 maybe games to 19 his second year, and maybe year 3 Yzerman pushes him up maybe earlier, and he's just that good, and he can take it over at 22, or you wait till he's 23. All I know is next year he's going to get called up, get 5, 6, 7 starts, I believe. That's what I would do at 20 years old. And then at 21 years old, I'd keep him on the roster for the whole season, give him about 14 starts. And then year 3 in the league, I would send him out there if he's good enough. Because you're not going to know just from him putting up shutouts in the WHL. That's just it's nice. It's nice. It's encouraging is the word. It's encouraging to see, right?
Well, he's not giving up 9 goals a game or something stupid like that. And that's always a possibility. But the big word, the P word, is what you're kind of hinting at, is patience.
Yep.
I don't think you need that goalie to take the next step. And to me, for the Wings, the next step is getting in the playoffs with a 5 or 6 seed. You don't need that guy to get there. You probably need that guy to take the step after that. Not only making the playoffs, but being a pain in the ass to play, being somebody that can win just about any series that they're in. So the timetable seems right. You know, if you're talking 4 years down the road, that might be the perfect fit for the Wings to have him in place and to be that goalie that's going to win you some playoff games or some playoff series.
100%. 100%. Well, you know where I feel like a winner every time I go? That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. They treat me like a king, and they'll treat you like a king. Check out one of their many locations. Wow, locations around the country. Of course, in Michigan, 27 in Michigan. Lady Jane's, walk in anytime, no appointment necessary. They will make you look about as good as you can be. And as someone that doesn't look all that great, believe me, they do a hell of a job with me. I got to give them a round of applause. Lady Jane's does a hell of a job for me. So everybody, check out Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarthy on our side.
Lemieux and McCarthy, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
OddsTrader.com is the #1 site for all of your game day bets. Head on over to their website for the best price on every game and sign up offers from multiple sports books. They even have player statistics and key game stats all right on their website on OddsTrader.com. Don't forget, of course, you can download their app today for play-by-play updates, live scores, and bet tracking. Head on over to OddsTrader.
All right, mailbag time. Get your questions in the YouTube chat or just be living life like Alex Westfall is over there in that booth. I wish you could all see what he just did. It was fantastic. First question from Brandon. If you were the Lions GM and there's one trade you had to make, which deal are you making?
Oh, that's pretty open-ended. So,
if I had to make a deal, I actually thought of my answer like instantly.
Okay.
The first thing that came to me. If I had to make a deal, I would ship. I would package the Rams' first-round pick with one of my average starters, and I'd go look to bolster my secondary. I'd go look for one more. I'd look for a veteran corner. I wouldn't even have to package a first-round pick. I mean, for me, I think it's just about veteran presence on the field. Where am I going to get veteran presence? I'm happy with the offensive line. I'm okay with TJ Hutchinson. You know what? To be honest, maybe I go trade for a backup tight end. Maybe I give up a 5th-round pick. Maybe I give up something for a backup tight end. I don't think this team needs, or there's nothing I can add by trading away to this team. I'm not trading Jared Goff. That's a salary cap hit I have no intention of taking. So what are my options? I think it's either backup tight end or you go get a veteran corner. But then again, it's such a young up-and-coming secondary. Maybe you just want these guys to learn as they go. That's a tough one.
I don't know if I go the corner route yet, since I think Jeff Okudah is going to become a plus player. So I don't know if I would go there. And I wouldn't do backup quarterback because he might actually win games if Goff is
you have
injured.
to make a trade. Sorry. Okay. So you have to make a trade. You could make one trade.
Okay?
What is it?
I'm telling you what I wouldn't do. Now I'm going to tell you what I would do. I don't think the wide receiver room is good, even though they're getting praised about how great they are, that this is a plus position. I would trade the Rams pick and something else. I would get I think you need a #1 wide receiver at some point. The Lions don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I told you could get Patrick Surtain Jr., if I told you could get one of the better corners in the NFL, I think you'd be willing to move off a pick that's probably going to be anywhere from 24 to 28. Having said that, if I had to make a trade and there was no penalty, I'd move Jared Goff right away. I would move Jared Goff right away.
Or how about this? Secondary, but safety.
No,
Do you like the safeties?
I wouldn't trade. The corner is more valuable than the safety. I think Kirby Joseph is going to be very nice for the team. They added depth in free agency. Tracy Walker's there. I think they're going to play a lot of single high safety. So you're not going to see 2 safeties lined up. You'll probably see the safety in the slot. I don't think it's that necessary. I really don't. No, I wouldn't do it. What other questions do we have in the chat this morning? Terry, question for you. Ooh. Fire the hitting coach, fire Avila, and fire the bum coaching in Toledo. You on board?
Fire all 3, or do I get a choice?
All three.
I would fire Avila. Once again, he hasn't brought in the talent. And I know people want to fire the hitting coach, but if you're bringing in guys who are not that great, what's the hitting coach going to do?
Nothing.
My thing is fire Al Avila, and you can find somebody that can bolster this roster, that can add something to this roster, who can have a relationship with Chris Ilitch, And I'm going to say that maybe y'all can get together and say, hey, Chris, let's do something. Give me a little bit of money. But Chris Ilitch has to have faith in you to do that. So did Mike Ilitch. Mike Ilitch did not have faith in Randy Smith, so he wasn't going to spend money. But when he got Dave Dombrowski, they had kind of a mafia mentality with Mike Ilitch, Dave Dombrowski, that we're going to get what we want. We're going to make sure this team is competitive. So
okay,
I don't know if Al Avila has that relationship with Chris Ilitch, and I am critical of Chris
Al
Ilitch.
Avila has a relationship with the pizza stand. That's about it.
the
Terry
Tiger
Mailbag,
Dogs.
I like this. If you were starting an expansion franchise, I'm going to assume this is in the NFL.
Okay.
Who would you target as your coach to hire, a veteran player to sign, and a player to take number 1 overall in the 2023 draft? I would hire Sean Payton. That would be the guy that's available that I would go after right away.
Okay.
If you told me I can pull somebody from the league, I would go pull Kyle Shanahan or Sean McVay. But we're just going to leave those guys out. So give me Sean Payton. He's available. I'll go for Sean Payton. A veteran to sign, I would take Aaron Donald. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would
that
be
would be nice
sweet.
as hell. Hell, I would even take TJ Watt at that point, given the age difference. But beyond the pick, number 1 overall, I'm going quarterback. It's going to be Levis. It's going to be Stroud. It's going to be Bryce Young. I'm going for one of those quarterbacks. That's it. I'm building my team. Joe Burrow, not a veteran. Justin Herbert, not a veteran. So I'm going to need a quarterback.
Right. Aaron Donald obviously can win Defensive Player of the Year any year. But I think I'd go with TJ.
Okay.
Because I think he can. Age is a factor, and I think he can also make. He's what I'm looking for. I like rush ins better than I do defensive tackles. My coach, I might go LaFleur because he's sort of young. He may not be as established as Sean Payton, but I'm looking toward the future. So I think
if we can pull guys out of the league, Shanahan and McVay are the 1 and 2 for me.
Mm-hmm.
I like LaFleur too, though. They all come from the same coaching tree, by the way. Fun fact. Mike Shanahan has graced the NFL. His presence is felt to this day.
You know, from people I talk to in the NFL who say the next guy is going to be Eric Bieniemy, and I think the knock on him is everyone assumes, and it may be true, that Andy Reid is calling all the plays, but there's a faith in Bieniemy that he's already got his offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators picked out. That he's already game planning for becoming a head coach. He just has to get that opportunity.
I like that. I hope he does, because I don't like the what if, right? I want to find out too.
Right.
I want to find out. So I am tired of that. Terry, who is a better running back? Well, Brandon, come on. You're better than this.
Oh,
Swift or Jonathan Taylor? Jonathan Taylor, guys. That's not even close. Swift, when healthy, super dynamic. You got to prove it on the field matters. It's not just about potential upside. You got to prove it on the field. Hope DeAndre Swift is one of the better backs in the NFC this year. Jonathan Taylor is the best back in the game. There's a big difference.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, you can depend on him. And he's more north and south.
Yep.
Which, in this scheme, will probably work better than Swift would. Swift wants to, do his little wiggle and go outside and stuff. But if you have an offensive line, probably Jonathan Taylor fits better with this offensive line than DeAndre Swift does. So, 2 questions. If you ask me who's better, I'd say Jonathan Taylor. If you ask me who I'd rather have on the Lions, I would say Jonathan Taylor. He's the guy. Swift, if he was healthy for all these games, maybe I would think differently. But from what I see, it's Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor, 100%. I do want to give fantasy football advice for everybody in the chat. This is free.
Okay.
Whoever is playing the New England Patriots this upcoming season, pick up that defense. Matt Patricia is the offensive coordinator of the Patriots. That's my advice to all of you. My advice is also to stay hydrated and stay in the goddamn, I don't know, stay away from the sun. It's going to be like 100 degrees today, probably more. So don't die. I'd like to see you tomorrow on the show.
We're going to take a hot girl walk later.
And then there's Maddie. Everybody have a great rest of your day.
Maddie, take your jacket off if you're going to go outside.
We'll see you guys all tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Bye.